Hello my friends, welcome back to another tournament report. This one is hopelessly delayed because it has been the summer holidays for school, which means childcare duties have taken precedence, as has, if I'm truly honest, painting an army. Sorry about that, but I think sufficient time has now passed for me to completely forget 100% of the games, so we will find out together what happened at Battlemasters, the world's longest running Kings of War tournament, right back before version 1 Battlemasters has been running for. It is a 2,500 point 4-game tournament with very tight clocks. So let's crack on. This is the army I took. So this is my 2,500 Riftforged Orcs. So I have dumped the Morax because they don't stack their wild charge. Instead, I've got 2 hordes of unforged orcs, or rubbish orcs, as I call them. But the good thing is that they benefit from the wild charge aura from the formation. I have 2 troops of Rift Walkers, flying orcs. I have a horde of Thunder Seers with blessing of the gods. So I've dropped sharpness because I think it makes them hideously expensive, and also everyone just focuses on them and I'm too scared to use them, so they just end up doing nothing. So we've got elite on them instead, which makes them better. Storm Giant, because I feel it's a bit disingenuous to have a 2,500 point without a list without a Titan. The Stormforged Shrine, I continue to be unconvinced by the Stormforged Shrine. 1 game in 5, you do get a chain of nice Bane chance off though, so there's that. The Stormcaller is back. So the Rubbish Wizard, I've given him Veil of Shadows though, because I was convinced I was going to face some hideous gun lines. Let's see if I do. And then Riftforger, so he goes with Thonar, with his host Shadow Beast. They're a nice pair. I've got double Stormbringer and Hellstrike Manticore because they're just brilliant flying heroes. And then we have the formation, so 2 regiments of Legionaries with a better nerve, and a regiment of Reborn Legionaries with a better nerve, and an aura of Wild Charge. Okay, and they're inspiring. And so my very first game was a challenge. Another Steve, the only other Steve. Steve Evans has challenged me with his Empire of Dust. So let's have a look at his little list here. So he has got 3 regiments of mummies, a horde of revenants, a horde of the Empire of Dust revenants, so they're defense 4 but crush 1. A horde of enslaved guardians with sharpness, so they hit on 2s, which is gross. 2 troops of skeleton archer cavalry. Now I'm not quite sure why skeleton archers are better in melee than normal skeletons, but they hit on a 4. They're better at hitting than they are at shooting, which is weird, isn't it? So nice nimble cavalry unit there at speed 9 as well. Speed 9. This is ridiculous. Anyway, and then 2 regiments of scavengers, speed 10. And also a dash 12. It just makes them better chaff than scavengers. Why would you have scavengers? I guess fly. Speed 10. But speed 9's good. And they shoot. I mean. And then Soul Snare, Bone Giant Monolith, which is normal. Also Shobik down the bottom there. I think Soul Snare, Monolith, and Shobik is mandatory for Empire of Dust. And then double Ammonite Pharaoh. So one of them's got the Eternal Guard update, which gives them an Aura of Elite for mummies, which affects the 3 regiments of mummies there. And the other one has got the Axe of the Giant Slayer, which gives him Slayer D3, which the Slayer's good against large infantry. Otherwise, yeah, double Pharaoh, defense 6, nasty. All right then. So this is a very strange photograph. I think I must have taken this portrait orientation. So let's have a look at what we're doing. This worked. Someone commented that red is hard to see for those with red-green colour blindness, which is fair enough. So we're going to draw in black today. So we have 2 hills. So the hills of Battlemasters, just FYI, are awful. They're very, very big. They're being redone for next time, which is exciting, isn't it? So double height 3 hills. All the forests are height 5 in Battlemasters for reasons. So anyone standing on this hill might be able to see over this forest. This is a giant piece of impassable, which we said was the whole base rather than just the house. Another one here. And this is rough terrain, and then I don't know what height it was, height 0, height 1, can't remember, and 2 height 2 walls. So there we go, that's the terrain. And here's Steve himself. He agreed to a photograph, but note he is sporting a highly fashionable and attractive Death by Dragons t-shirt. Oh yes, and did you know, ladies and gentlemen and people of other genders, you can also own a Death by Dragons t-shirt, and in purchasing a Death by Dragons t-shirt, you benefit a local charity by making the war game. Isn't that incredible? It's a charity called King of Hearts Creative Outreach that my friend runs, which provides a safe play space for children and underprivileged children. And he's very worthy, and you should probably buy a t-shirt from my Redbubble shop, which is linked beneath this video, or any other form of merchandise in order to benefit it. So end of sales pitch. I should also note that Steve has his own YouTube channel, which is called Lazy Pirate Painting, where he does very short form videos, 3 to 5 minutes, going through his painting, his battle, his tournaments, in a lovely, gentle Bristolian accent. So if you wish to have your earlobes caressed, it's very ASMR. I highly recommend it, as I very much enjoy his channel. Anyway, enough waffle about t-shirts and YouTube channels. We are playing Invade. So Invade, as you know, is get over the halfway line. And this is how we've set up. So I think I chose sides and I gave Steve the giant house because I didn't want that side. Okay, and I chose this side. So let's see. So over here we have the Horde of Revenants. This is the Monolith. That's the Soul Snare. All right, so that's quite a chunky centre. Then we have all 3 mummies with hitting on 2's Revenants. There's your Pharaoh, giving the elite aura to all of them. Scavengers, Scavengers. And then you've got Bone Giant, and this one is Shobik, though. Big swords, Shobik. Alright, so a lot of meat to chew through here. And then on the other side over here, he's got both of his archers and Now, which Pharaoh is this one? I think this is the Slayer Pharaoh. Yes, it will be, because that's the elite Pharaoh. So this is the Slayer Pharaoh. So, what have I done against this? So, I have tried to layer my army a bit more. So, I think I've worked out a better way to deploy. So, I've got my Reborn with my Unforged, right? These guys, this is my, so all charges 13. They're relatively fast for Orcs, up to 13. Here's my shooty guy, here's my, so there's no shooting to face against, so that's, Veil of Shadows is pointless, so he's going to be lightning bolting today. We can use some wind blasting. So against this kind of very fast flanky threat, and I think his plan is to try and come around the flanks with this, I've simply gone with a single Riftwalkers, and, oh, is there something else in there? No, there isn't. There's just my Stormbringer on Hellstrike Manticore. And being entirely frank with you, I looked at this forest and this hill, and I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up very hard around here, and I'm just going to book it. I'm going to leave them because I don't care about them, which is very mean. Let's see how that works out. And then on the right-hand side, so I've put together a very fast flank. This is my kind of anvil hammer, right? And it's very non-threatening looking. However, I think there's a lot of power here. So this is the chaff, the Riftwalkers in the front. We've got my, whatever he's called, Rift Caller, Storm, not thing, whatever he's called. Forger, Rift Forger, and Thonar, one of the Flying Manticore guys. And then over here we have Thunderseers backing them up. So that's the plan. There's some shots of Steve's lovely army and the rest of it. Old school minis there. And here's mine. Slightly less old school. I've remodeled these Riftwalkers. I've given them a head swap, and I've tried to model ghostly flames coming out of the back of them. And let me tell you, it hasn't worked very well. And there's the rest of them. I am, however, painting some Mantic Thunderseers. This might be the last time you see the Thunderseers in this form, depending if I finish them. So, Steve wins first turn. And he pushes forward on the left with his fast units. He stayed out of my charge of 20, but he's got these guys on the hill, which is fine. And then everything else has kind of come forward. So he's got his Scavengers looking down the flank here. He's got Shobik just behind the forest. Of course, he's surgeable. And he's got a lot of surge, particularly from the Monolith and his mummy. So he can surge him wherever he wants. And everything else in a line. Alrighty. This little shot showing you everything. So he's got his triple mummies there. He's got one scavenger just popped in front of the mummies, but behind the hill, so they can't be seen very well. And I think that's just showing that he shot me and missed. So for my turn, I carried out my plan. So I kept my Riftwalkers here as a threat. They are just outside of the 18-inch charge range. And I have taken the what was it called? Stormbringer. I knew what it was. Across here behind the woods, along with the giant as a nice kind of dual attack force. Then my rest of my line is just entirely in a lovely line there, which I kind of thought was sweet. On the right-hand side, I've pushed up my... so obviously Shobik is right here, but these Riftwalkers are effectively screening for the punch guys. Who are here? We've got my Thunderseers back here waiting. So a little bit of wind blast there from the giant onto the soul snare, pushing it backwards, pointlessly really. And then all of my lightning bolts did 3 points of damage to the bone giant, which isn't bad, really. So turn 2, he sees what I've done there, so he's pushed his archer cavalry into the woods here, and he's hoping for a long bomb surge here into the flank. I think that's a big ask. He needs 5 successes off of 8 dice. Let's see. Everything else is pushed up, so he's put his scavengers right in front of this horde so that I have to charge them, and he's really screening for the bone giant, who is positioned here for a nice surge into the flank of the Riftwall. He couldn't quite get the angle to get them into the flank of the character, but he can get a nice flank charge here pretty easily with a surge. And similarly, he's got his scavengers here to come into the side, so to sort of do something about that. He has positioned quite close here, particularly with his enslaved guardians, his hitting on 2 Death Star unit, so that might come back to bite him. That's just another shot of exactly the same thing. And the surge, he gets the surge off nicely, so he's into the flank of my Riftwalkers, and that's a heal. So that's Shobik's heal. And so here is the attempted surge, which fails. However, he has managed to do some damage to this guy from, I think maybe it will be the soul snare, won't it? So it looks like we're up to 6 wounds, which we don't like. So the surge has failed, but he's up to 6 wounds. Such is life. The Riftwalkers have died to the bone giant, so they're gone, and he repositions like so. And so on my turn, so I take my Thunderseers into the scavengers to get rid of them, because once they're dead I can turn this way, which is good. I put this Stormbringer into Shobik just to hold him off a little bit. And then we take both Thonar and the Riftforger into the bone giant. Likewise, we have to take on these scavengers here. Okay. And this is me just checking angles, so just checking, but it actually is a flank here. But I think I'm outside of 10. And I choose not to take that flank because then this unit would just cark it completely. So I just stay where I am, just over the hill, outside of 12 of these guys. And I push the giant into the Horde of Revenants. And I take my Stormbringer into the Monolith. The Monolith... can't be disordered, so it can carry on casting, but a few good rounds of combat I should take it off. And on the left hand side I've taken the flank, which was presented by that poor surge, onto these horses with my Riftwalkers. Some more lightning bolts there, so mummies up to 3, something for them to regen next turn. We kill the cavalry and then we push forward, so I roll forwards because there's another unit of cavalry there, and this puts me outside of their line of sight, so only the mummy can get me now, and only in the flank. So we murder the scavengers, as expected. The bone giant goes up to 8 damage. I think I do get 1 point of damage onto Shobik. But I don't kill it, which is very disappointing. So the Riftforger does his host shadow piece onto Thonar to give him the extra attacks, because Thonar explodes more. So we've got 3 extra attacks. So even with 9, 10, 12 attacks in total on 3s and 3s. Yeah, I think 8 points of damage is pretty good, actually. 1 point of Shobik. And we kill the scavengers with that horde, so it's all good. Turn 3. So this is Shobik. I know it doesn't look like Shobik, it looks like a wooden base because it's a blank. So what he's done is he's withdrawn Shobik 1 inch and he's turned him this way because he's going to surge him into my Thunderseers. And then these mummies have taken the flank that's presented here. Steve was quite pleased with this. I didn't see it, I'm going to confess. However, I'm not too worried because Mummy's hit on 4s, so now they're hitting on 5s, and I'm defense 5. I think I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. So the other mummies come into the horde. Obviously, the giant countercharges the little character, the Riftforger, because he's easy to kill. Mummy goes into these guys, and these cavalry start to come around, so he can start to threaten flanks and rears here. And then he's brought his mummy, the other mummy. He's over here currently. He's brought him up. Oh no, he's brought him. Sorry, this way, really close, because he's going to do the first surge onto second surge onto Shobik. So here we go. There's the enslaved guardians. So this was a problem that I spotted earlier and pointed out to you with his positioning. If we can get there. Hello, hello. Did you take good photos? Right. So he will really want to multi-charge my giant. However, because there's no room for the horde to move and they're too far back, his Death Star unit of enslaved guardians is stuck. So all he can do on this turn is sidestep them, which is very inconvenient for such an expensive unit to spend 3 turns doing nothing. Oh, whoa, we've gone too far now, boys. There we go. So all he's sidestepped them, ready for next turn, which is fair. And his Soul Snare has turned to try and drain life off my Stormbringer. Shobik, he gets the surge off pretty nicely. It was 2 points of damage, that was good. So Shobik gets the surge into the Thunderseers. So that's the drain life, puts the Stormbringer up to 8 damage, but he doesn't manage to roll the 7 required to kill it, or even a 5 to waver it, so that was a poor nerve roll. What's that? 1 point of damage from something. Who knows? What's that? What could it be? Anyone? Bueller? Don't know. So the giant goes up to 7 damage from the Revenants. There, he's okay still. And there's 7 damage on this horde as well. So both of the rubbish orc hordes are on 7 damage from the mummy charge there. That's the flank. So there you go. I was well placed in my faith in 5s. So 3 damage onto him. He's feeling all right. And only a waver from the bone giant onto my little Riftforger, which is very, very gratifying. Because otherwise he'd have been overrunning into Thonar. Didn't like that. 5 damage from Shobik onto the Thunderseers. They're okay for the time being. I'm not going to vouch for their well-being for too long. So we countercharge with them. We back up the Riftforger to allow Thonar to come in. Not that he didn't need it, but just get him out of the way. We take the flank from these Reborn Legionaries who had their nose on the hill and a front from the other horde, so they're going to cark it. I've kept these ones just in a base, so they're outside of 12, so they can't be charged. We've got the little nose on the hill, and he's got his nose on the hill as well. And I do manage a double charge here, so the other horde comes from here up, giant shifts along, because the Stormbringer's come back into the monolith. He's only on 4 damage after 2 rounds of combat. It's not great, is it? And that's 2 rounds of Cloak of Death, so 1 point of damage per turn from the Stormbringer, who's having the game of his life. Over here we countercharge the mummy. Alright, and that's what I've already shown you, so why am I showing you again? Who knows? That is the giant who has died, and I have backed up the bone giant is, and I've backed up Thonar, because I want to use Thonar to screen off Shobik next turn after he's killed my Thunderseers. Another 2 damage, so they're up to 6 on the monolith. Still fine. Still fine. Very annoying. And we kill the horde of Revenants. And I turn the horde really to protect the giant, because the giant is quite wounded at this point. We kill those mummies, but he has of course got Death Star, Mummy and Mummy to go, so that's not looking good, is it? So he needs to choose what he's going to charge. He's got undamaged Reborn Legionaries. These undamaged guys, I think these are outcharged, but he's got horde with 7 damage, horde with 7 damage. So there we go. I think I did manage to chain a Bane Chant then, by the way. I think I took a picture of it. That's what that picture was, yeah. So having bemoaned the Shrine for not getting off, this was the one game where I did. I got Bane Chant, Bane Chant, Bane Chant. Actually, I did that in another game as well, but that was quite fun. Okay, turn 4. So Shobik back into Thunderseers. And then so he's taken, this is the choice he's made. So Death Star Enslaved Guardians into this horde. And then Mummies and Pharaoh into the Reborn Legionaries. And then don't forget this Mummy regiment was facing this way, right? So he's turned it and moved 5 because he's going to use his Monolith Surge to surge into this horde. So nice use of resource. And there we go. So we're still trying to get rid of this. This poor little Stormbringer with a Soul Snare. And this time the horses finally get to do something. It is a flank, but it's hindered, so it's going to be on 6s. Not great. Let's see if they can do it. That's the surge, goes off, so unsurprisingly. So that's a terrible round. I've got 6. What was he on before? He was on 7 before, now he's on 8. So 1 point of damage from that Soul Snare. Not a great round. And that's the healing from that, 1 point of damage. So he does manage to kill the Riftwalkers. Well, look at me with my arrogance. There we go. And now he's facing my rear. And you will notice the Horde is gone. Because Death Star is Death Star. And does what Death Star does. On 2s. 2s and 2s. 18 attacks, 2s and 2s. Goodbye. Yeah. So, but, unfortunately, he's now got a problem. Because having taken them in... Whoa. Hello. Whoa. Something's gone wrong. There we go. Actually, the giant can't see him. The giant's facing the wrong way, so I'm not sure what that's about. He's chosen to face them this way. I'm sure he moved them. Because he's going to get flanked by this unit otherwise. We'll see. Yes, he did. There you go. He's of course he did. He turned them to face this way because he'd been entirely insane not to. So he's going to get charged. Let's see if he can survive that. I've got a choice of charges, really. Obviously, the Reborn Legionaries have died, which is unfortunate. But I have now got clear charge. It's getting really sparse in the middle. And then these guys went up to 15. 15 damage from this mummy charge, but they're okay. So that was a good round of mummies, wasn't it? They are elite. And Shobik finished off my Reborn Legionaries. Boo. Not Reborn Legionaries. Thunder Seers. Boo. You don't like that? Turns around. So this is how the battlefield is looking on my turn 4. So these guys I just can't worry about. They're just too terrible. I've got a regiment and a regiment. And he's got a horde. Regiment. Right, so... Which one do I take on? That's the question. And what can I do with these guys who have been stuck in a lake for the whole game? Let's see. So, this is what I do. I take this regiment into the Enslaved Guardians. Right? I move my shrine up to block these mummies a bit. Well, maybe worth it. I take Thonar into these mummies. Not by the woods, like that. And the Riftforger into these mummies along with this horde, right? This unit is in the wrong place, so I've moved it up, ready for next turn, really. So it can't be charged by these mummies because there's something in the way. Ready for next turn. My Stormbringer, that's right, I forgot to say, the Stormbringer that was here earlier, with the mummies that flanked him, remember? Just went off. Went off this way and then turned facing this way. So what that allowed me to do was to rear charge the Soul Snare. The giant went into the front of the Soul Snare. And the other Stormbringer is determined to kill the monolith. Just determined. Please die. It's not even any point in attacking it anymore. There's not really a surging to be done. I just want it to die. It's personal at this point. So Host Shadow Beasts go very well. So Host Shadow Beasts here. So this is a gross. Okay, this is a, okay. Having said the shrine is not really valid. Host Shadow Beast on Thonar gives him 5 extra attacks. Followed by a Bane Chant. Followed by a Bane Chant. Followed by a Bane Chant. It's a little bit. It's quite good. That worked. That worked very well. Okay. And so the Soul Snare dies. The Death Star unit dies. That was a good round of rolling. From nothing. From 1 damage or 2 damage. A 12 attack unit killed them in 1. Nice. Well done. I guess they did get a Cloak of Death from the rear. So yeah, they die. And the other mummies die. Thonar solos a unit. But then he has got 11 attacks on 3s and 3s exploding. So, you know, when it goes well. However, these mummies went up to 9 damage. 9 from a horde in the front and the Riftforger in the flank. Pathetic. Turn 5. So at this point, having wiped out his centre, Steve's battle plan's rather fallen apart. That was very, very good round for me. Very, very good round. So Thonar and this unit really won the game here because now there's not a lot left. So he's got 1 unit here and he's got 1 unit here and he's got Shobik. Those are his scoring units. This horde will die, but then I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 unit strength in his side that really there's not a lot he can do. So these guys come in. So he actually charged my flank with this unit. He is out of the woods though. And he afterwards, he kind of went, oh no, why didn't I surge them? And I'm like, I don't know. Why didn't I? Thought you did. I thought you were surging them. He's like, no, I just put them there because they couldn't fit on the hill. They're charging. So he could have moved them up, shot me, and then surged in unhindered. Instead, he just charged. So that was, a bit of a critical error at a critical time. Shobit's coming in for some more surge. Counter charge here. And yeah, that's what he's got. Oh, and the mummy's gone into this unit as well because he's worked out this unit really needs to die. The mummy's gone in here as well. So they may die. Let's see. So he gets the Shobik surge off into the Riftforger. And yep, the Horde dies. The Riftforger, however, also dies. Everyone's dead. However, we only take 5 points of damage from that double flank. One of them's not, one's an individual, but still 5 points of damage. Not enough. So in response, Thonar goes into Shobik to hold him off. I countercharge the... Sorry, I was running out of time. Sorry, my bad for photos. So, quick look at the battlefield. Whoa, we're going to get a battlefield shot? Right. So they're on 5, right? I countercharge this unit and double one it. Thonar comes into Shobik. Oh, Shobik was here, right? Everything's dead. So double one on that unit. The Shrine is blocking this unit, and he can't really move it over because he needs the unit strength. And they're on 9 damage. I think do I lightning bolt them? Can't remember. I still don't care. Look at that. 11 freaking damage on the monolith. Urgh! So that's right. And this other unit finally gets into the combat. So it was down here, right, forever. It goes into the mummy, right, and the Stormbringer also goes into the mummy. And the lightning bolt here does 1 point of damage to the mummies, but they don't die. Shobik doesn't die either. And I take... That's why it was ridiculous. Went into the flank and the front and double one bit, so they're on like 1 billion damage. Turn 6. So he has another go. He goes in the front here. The mummy can't get in, so he has a go at the giant randomly. And these mummies take on these guys. Shobik takes on Thonar. Let's see what he can do. They go up to just 6 points of damage now from the front charge. These horses not very good in the front. And they're okay. And also these mummies take on this fresh unit. 6 points of damage from mummies, which is more what you'd expect from a mummy unit. And they are also okay. And then the counter charges just destroy everything. So Thonar in the rear and Legionnaires in the front. Legionnaires in the front, giant in the flank. Takes off the rest of the army. And that is a very decisive victory for me. And I believe it was a 19 out of 20 points. So the Battlemasters points work on a win-loss. And then another, so up to 10 points. And then another 10 points just for kills. So obviously most of his army is dead. So yeah, it was a 19. So let's move on to game 2. Okay, game 2. I would say, I forgot to say, against Steve. Steve, I love him. He's brilliant. And also, he looks a lot like my Storm Giant, which I have now renamed Steve in his honor. If I sound a bit different, it's because I'm in a different room to normal. I am in a hotel room, as it happens. But I bought my microphone to do this for you, because that's how much I really want to get this shit done. I mean, how much I love you all. That's it. So, my second game was against John, who had Order of the Green Lady. John is Lord Commander of the Moonrakers. Mr. John Gunn's lovely, lovely, lovely man. I genuinely really like him. Really delighted to play him for the second time. So, let's see how we do this time. This was his list. Now, I have a complaint about Order of the Green Lady. Not against John. It's not John's fault. Order of the Green Lady is a very, very powerful list. It's very good. Very strong. But part of its strength, I do feel, is that nobody knows what anything in the list is, because it's all the same. They've just got like slightly different names. Everything's on a horse or on a flying horse, and there is no way to tell, generally from people's models, what is what. Now, John has very kindly named every unit, which is very cute, and some of them give you an indication. But, for example, Order of the Brotherhood are cavalry, they're a cavalry regiment. Whereas, of course, Order of Redemption are cavalry, they're a cavalry unit. And they're almost exactly the same, except Redemption have 20 attacks out of nowhere, and Regen are stupid. There is no way to tell there is nothing to differentiate between these lists, between these units. It's a stupid choice. There is no point. Make them a different size, maybe, so people can tell what the bloody hell they are. Because otherwise, Beasts of Nature and Pegasuses. A Beast of Nature could well be. In fact, you will see later. I charged something thinking it's a Pegasus. It turns out to be a Beast of Nature because there's no way to tell what the bloody units are. I say, okay, we've got Exemplar Redeemers on Winged Unicorns. They're completely different, right? Wrong. They're the same too, just a slightly different base size. It's bullshit. The list is amazing. It's really strong, but for God's sake, let's have some differentiation between the units to help people playing the bloody. Anyway, moving on. He's got a horde of Men-at-Arms retainers. Know what they are? They're people. That's fine. The annually retentives. I don't know. A horde of water elementals. They're very good. I like them a lot. And then the Order of the Brotherhood, which are the normal, slightly worse cavalry. But these ones are the good cavalry because he's given them Banner of the Green Lady, therefore making them nearly indistinguishable from the Redemption. But they gain Pathfinder and they have a Vial of Sacred Water, which allows them a bit like a healing brew. And I think they also get Rallying from the Champion. 2 Redemption, which are the better knights with regen. 1 with a red flag one. So the only way you can tell these apart on the battlefield is that the Brotherhood, the supposedly rubbish knights, but actually quite good knights, because he's given them Drunken Ram, and they've got Thunderous Charge 3 for God's sake, and Pathfinder, is that they've got a black flag, whereas the Redemption is red and blue flag. The red ones have got sharpness, so they hit on 2s, and the blue ones have got strength, so they're Crush 2, Thunderous 1. So this is a very, very hitty list. Forsaken, they're the flying cavalry, so they're speed 10. And he's given them Caterpillar, which is excellent. He's got 1 Beast of Nature with the obligatory rings and 7 attacks, 2 Pegasuses, 2 Exemplar Redeemers, both on unicorns, 1 with a Banner of Abbotshire for Spell Ward, and 1 with a Trickster's Wand to give them Hex. So he will spend the entire game hexing my shrine. And then the Champion of the Green Lady, who is another brilliant knight. Exactly the same as Exemplar Redeemers, except he rallies Sacred Water units, which is most of the list. So very nice, synergy-heavy list. Very punchy, very alpha strike. He needs to kill things immediately, otherwise he's going to get hit back. But he has quite a lot of crushing strength, so you will recognise the battlefield because, yes, it's the same table as last time. Unfortunately, I started on table 2 due to the challenge, and then I did very well, so I'm still on table 2. Anyway, so I don't need to go through that terrain again because you've already seen it. I would say I didn't bring my mouse with me, which wasn't very clever, was it? So you're going to be doing this with a finger. Let's see how well that works. And then this we are playing Loot. So this is one where there are 3 tokens. So we ended up with 1 token here in the middle, 1 on this right-hand forest over here, going well already, and 1 over here by this hill. Okay, and then even more helpfully, John won sides and chose the side I'm on. So we immediately flip round to confuse you all and befuddle you. So I get the bad side with the giant house. So generally, the strategy in Loot that it is best to aim for is to win 2 of the tokens. If you focus on all 3, you'll lose. So I've decided to go for 2. So very clearly, John. So over here we can see he's got his Men-at-Arms retainers. We have. God, I'm trying to see the flags. This is the Brew of Strength unit because it's got a blue flag. This might be the Pathfinder Knights with a black flag, which means this is the Sharpness ones. Yeah. Okay. Imagine trying to play against this. These are the Forsaken, which are actually Hell Strikers that have been modified, which is excellent. With the Water Elementals behind. This is the Pink Panther, one of the unicorns. Right. And this would then be the Brown Panther. Right, so this is the Beast of Nature. I know this now. Spoiler warning, I didn't at the time. This is the Exemplar Redeemer with the Banner of Abbotshire, as this one is Hex. John has set up very clearly to take this token and this token. Right, that's what he wants to do. I have set up very clearly to take this token and this token. Right? Because my army is all over here. However, I mean, I've got 2 quite strong units here. But anyway, 3 quite strong units. But what that means is that assuming that we win the tokens we're going for, this is the important token which will decide the game. So on my side, on this token here, I tried to essentially, when I put stuff down, I tried to put as much as possible down here that was threatening enough that he had to load this side, but mobile enough that I could redeploy it immediately. Because my plan is, so I've got a Riftwalker regiment, I've got one of the Stormbringers, and then I've got my pair of Riftforger and Thonar, right? And the plan is that they're just going to go this way, bye, and leg it, because he's got a lot of stuff here. Most of it's pretty fast, but then, frankly, so is his whole army. And then over here, so we have Rubbish Orcs, Reborn, there's the other Rubbish Orcs here, and then we've got another Riftwalker here, and my, what were they called, Thunderseers here. We've got the two regiments of Better Orcs here and here. We've got the Giant and the Shrine with the Stormcaller, and the other fly dude here on the left hand side to face off against this, which I thought was Unicorn and it isn't. So there's my army, and it's the rest of them, like what I just told you. And here is John's lovely Order of the Dark Green Lady, is what he's called them. Yeah, it's good to see. So there we go. Quite a light elite list. Just need to kind of take out a few units, and I should be okay, he says confidently. However, I did win first turn, which was lovely and really necessary against fast armies like this. So I push up behind the hill. Nice and threatening, so I'm in a position to leg it this way next turn, assuming that he takes the charges this way. And then I kind of do a generic push forward here, so I've got a nice... I'm not in the woods here, so I can't be seen. It may not be a mistake, we'll see. I couldn't get any further anyway. And I've got my Stormbringer here right on the edge because he's threatening this way, right? So he can't... I mean, this guy's an individual, the Champion of the Green Lady, and he's a good individual. He's got 7 attacks. You know, he's pretty great. So I can't just jump over the back of his army because he'll take me down from there. So, what is that showing you? I have no idea. Is that 2 wounds? Oh, it is 2 wounds. I've done 2 wounds. What was that with? Oh, this is lightning bolts. So lightning bolts on them from the Stormcaller. 2 wounds there. And then the Shrine has done 2 wounds to this unit of men-at-arms. So that's pretty good. Lightning bolting, frankly. So, in response, John has pushed forward cautiously, I would say, with all of his fighter units here, because he is faster than me with the cavalry, and they're better than me. He's pushed the Champion of the Green Lady right out to the left as a challenge to that Stormcaller. And he's got his Beast of Nature here. Ready for kicking ass, I guess, because that's what they do. He's gone forward quite aggressively on the right hand side. So look, he's held back the water elementals, but he's shoved forward with his unicorn. And what flags on these guys? Red flag, sharpness, cavalry. So these are the very, very good cavalry. 20 attacks on 2s, gross. And then of course he hexes my shrine, and I spend the rest of the game hex, I think, probably. So turn 2, which I forgot to take a picture of the dice. I took a picture of the dice later, I think, because that's the kind of shambolic battle report I am. So I looked at all this and I thought, oh, that's a unicorn here. I reckon I can take him out. I got 5 attacks on 3s and 2s. 3s and 3s rather. I think with a lucky roll I might get him. And also by sitting here, the only thing that can attack me is the Green Lady in the flanks. So I'm going into that unicorn, I said. Later finding out it's a Beast of Nature. That was fun. And my horde just ran forward, picked up the token. And I'm in the woods. And we've got quite a lot of units that can attack me. This may have been a mistake. Possibly not. Getting it. Certainly this unit is positioned well to attack. This unit, my Thunderseers, really was a mistake. So I moved forward and I turned. Look at my angle here. I think I didn't really consider the power of this unit and this unit. And possibly this unit or one of the other units as well. This one possibly because he's faster, he's speed 10. A triple charge on a horde when most of them have got Pathfinder they're probably going to die. Now, I have got a regiment here to take part, but the Thunderseers should have been a threat here. Now, there is a wall in the way, but I could have positioned slightly better. As it is, I can't see anything. I'm focusing all my attention over here because I think I've got this token. Just a silly mistake. Anyway, my horde goes into the men-at-arms because I've got my reborn legionaries here. So I figure if he does flank with this, I've then got 2 regiments to attack that. Regiment of cavalry, and I can take them out. Okay? And then on the right-hand side, I have very cowardly, as you'd expect, just legged it as I planned. Carrying out the plan. So there's a lovely wood here and a hill. There is a tiny gap, which I spent some time down here, just making sure no one could see anything. So this is the line of sight of the unit. You can see, look at that needle precision of my finger on this touchpad. So I've managed to get everyone where I want them. They're all out of charge range. I think the only charge available is from this Forsaken into the flank of this unit. So I've almost said, go on then, because then your Forsaken will absolutely die. Let's see if he takes that. That trap, there's the dice telling you it's turn 2. So my Stormbringer does 3 wounds to the Beast of Nature. That I then found out was Beast of Nature, which is alright, it's pretty good. Oh, I forgot to say I sent... Oh, okay, I was stopping the flank there by using these Riftwalkers. There you go. See, I'm not that bad. So 2 wounds from the Riftwalkers onto the Brewer Strength unit. At least I haven't got any Thunderous now. And 10 wounds, so it's actually 8 wounds with an extra 2 here. Where's my giant? Oh, he's in the middle. He's in the middle. Okay. So 10 wounds a bit there, fine. That's a lot of wounds, so we're feeling pretty good about that. This is how we're looking. So, I think that's a pretty good position to be in. Yes, we've shown that already. Thank you very much. And for the 3rd time, we're just going to run through. So, on John's turn, what he did was take the Sharpness unit right up into the hill. So, look down here. That's a very strong position to be in. And everything else is following through. And the Water Elemental's clearly just going to wander down here to take this token. Personally, I'd have been tempted to take the Pegasus onto the token and bring the Water Elemental, because the Water Elementals are better than a Pegasus, right? I get the Pegasus is fast, but he's only got 3 attacks. And actually, if he grabs the token, he's then at liberty to just leg it. And he's faster. Anyway, just my thoughts. Well, or speed 5 if you're carrying a token anyway, but more nimble maybe. No. And then there's counter charges all over the shop, and then on the so that's counter charge there. 2 wounds on the counter charge. He's okay. I'm trying to show you the charge on the left hand side, and I can't for some reason. But anyway, it's triple charge. This unit, and I believe this unit, we'll see in a second, all come into the horde with the token over here. Let's see if you can see it. There it is. Alright, so they all come into the token horde. I didn't think that through at all. What happens to them? Let's find out. Yes, no, that's the end. So look at this, 18 wounds, absolutely smashed it. Order of the Brotherhood took the... Notice how it's got a little bottle there for their sacred water. Really nice modelling. Anyway, so they took the token, and everyone else just hanging around. So, yeah, stupid me. And then the Riftwalkers also died. And 5 wounds from the men-at-arms onto my horde, but they're okay. Turn 3. So, this is how it's looking now. We've got the... They're not facing the wrong way, although. It's just we couldn't fit the models together. So, this is my challenge. So, what am I going to do? Next thing, I need to sort this thing out. So, I'm going to have to send this unit in and then really start bringing some stuff over, because actually securing this token is very important. I'm very unlikely to get this one over here. I'm more likely to get this one in the middle. In fact, my shrine, I think, has already picked it up. So, here's what I do, is I turn around. So, yes, I bring my Riftwalkers who were here, shielding my other unit. He didn't take the charge with the Forsaken, unfortunately. And I just put them in a nice shielding position against the Horde, so that the Horde can't be charged on the flank and they can finish off their arms. I then send Thonar and the Riftforger into the Sharpness Cavalry, because actually... I've got a good chance against them because cavalry are quite fragile, especially when they've lost their Thunderous. You can see the ranged marker here which indicates that we will be not be able to see them. That he won't be able to see me, rather, with his Forsaken, which is a good position to be in. Individuals are powerful, right? And then we really go for the crunch in the centre. So the Giant and the Reborn go into this unit of whatever the cavalry, whatever the bloody hell they're called. You see, Order of the Brotherhood? No. Don't make me go back and look at it. Okay. I can't bother. It's too far to go. The cavalry, 20 attack cavalry, the strength unit anyway. They've got brute strength, so we go into them with both the Giant and the unit of Reborn Legionary. So that's pretty much guaranteed to take them out, but we'll see. What was delicious was getting off that Cloak of Death, because we Cloak of Death quite a lot of units. You remember there was another Stormcaller on Manticore here. He came over here into this Exemplar Redeemer, who is the Hex one, so he could stop hexing my Shrine. The Shrine, in the meantime, is legging it this way with the token. So I've got the token and I'm off. And I'm quite well protected there. So that token is pretty much secured. Okay. And then on the left, so as predicted, so I turned my Thunderseers around. We should have been facing this way anyway, so that's my mistake to be rectified now. Handily also shielding this unit. And I sent the other regiment into this cavalry. They are going to die, and then hopefully I can pick up the token with this unit. Okay? And then we're still attacking the Beast of Nature at the top there. And that is another. So, having started this battle report bemoaning the Shrine's lack of success in chaining Bane chants, here is another triple Bane chant. So, Reborn Legionaries get crushed 3. These Rubbish Orcs get crushed 2. And this Stormbringer gets crushed 3. So, very, very strong. I take it back. I'm so sorry. So, this Stormbringer absolutely knocked it out of the park. Whacked some more wounds on, got a waiver on the Beast of Nature, so that's delicious. Life leeches wounds back. We kill the men at arms and we turn to face, so that's good. I have left my rear potentially open here, I think, or possibly as a flank. It looks like a flank to me. It's a flank. It's fine. So I think I am here with the Stormbringer. We're just going to put them together, so that's protected my flank. So yes, not that rubbish at the game after all. Maybe I left a Unicorn rear? I don't know, who cares? It's only 3 attacks, right? And I'm a Horde. So we faced off against the real threat, which is over here, all the big stuff that's coming in now. And crucially, I protected my Shrine from being charged. 5 wounds from the other Stormbringer. The Stormbringer is really, men or orcs of the match, this particular game. Another wave on his Exemplar Redeemer, which is fantastic. Sad times. Look at that. 9 wounds onto the Sharpness Cavalry from Thonar and the Riftforger. Don't manage to get a waiver, which would have just needed a 6, wouldn't it? Oh, that's disappointing. Must have rolled a 5 or less, I guess, on the nerve check. So death is incoming soon on that side. So here we are. This is what we look like. So the Giant and the Horde are facing this way. This token in the middle is rather secure. I like that. I just need to murder this stuff. So I've got a lot of things. I've got my Reborn and I've got my Thunderseers here. So I have got a lot of things that can come and murder. But these guys are very mobile, so let's see what they do. I don't know how many wounds. I think it looks like it is 6 wounds on this unit, which is pretty good, hindered. 12 attacks on 4s and 4s. So, yeah, it was an exceptionally good round. But I didn't manage to get away with anything. But that's good. They're going to die now, and then their friends are going to come and fight. Yeah, so okay, looking good, happy. So John's turn. So obviously he takes a fresh charge to double flank and then front this unit to really smack him out. And then he sends his Unicorn over as a sacrificial lamb in front of the Thunderseers. So we are going to get Reborn in, but the Thunderseers are going to be stuck killing a Unicorn, which is rubbish. So it's pretty good play from John there. And then he sends his other Unicorn over and drops it right here. So you can. So this was the Unicorn that was here, and he dropped. I was facing the wrong. No. I would have thought it would attack the Horde, but there you go. He drops it here, essentially to stop the Giant charging things. Yes. And then he sends the Forsaken into the Horde. So, couldn't protect them that well. So Forsaken in the Horde, he passes headstrong on this unit, which is wavered, and comes into the flank. So that Horde's not long for this world. And the point here is to stop the Giant coming into the Forsaken, I think. And then, so this was something I missed, unfortunately. He got a lovely long charge with the Water Elementals onto Thonar. And then obviously the Sharpness Cavalry come into the Riftforger, regen some wounds, so down to 7. And that is the regiment on the left, has died as expected. As has the Horde, as expected. So, not great. But notice I have managed to get my regiment here, facing the right way. So they can come into these Forsaken. So, yeah, all is not lost. Thonar takes 6 wounds, but he's okay. He's so durable. Love him. Turn 4. Oh, the Riftforger. What happened to him? I think he probably died. Oh, he's not. Look at that. 7 wounds and wavered. 7 wounds and wavered. From Sharpness Cavalry. Ah, life's hard. Turn 4. So, Thonar decides he's going to try and kill this cavalry off because they are the bigger threat. Right? 7 wounds already. I'm sure he can do it. So this guy backs out, Nimble backs out of the way to allow the charge, and then I send in the Riftwalkers into the flank of the Elementals. Don't forget they've got Strider. We take on the Unicorn with the Giant. We take on... So the Stormbringer comes into the rear of this Exemplar Redeemer, which is delicious. And then we take a nice charge into the Forsaken. On the left, we have to charge my Thunderseers into the Unicorn. We take the Reborn into the Cavalry, who have the token, and we carry on pummeling away at this bloody beast of nature. So, there you go. Thonar messes it up like an absolute fool. Just doesn't roll very well, doesn't roll the required number of attacks. I think he was probably hindered. Was he out of the woods? I don't know. Puts them back up to 9. They're still okay. Bad times on this flank. However, my Riftwalkers absolutely smash it out of the park on the Elementals and then buck up out of the woods so that these cavalry can't withdraw and just charge into me. Feeling good about that. Plus, if you think about it, I put them in a very strong position. So this was really just very lucky that the Water Elementals that were here didn't kill Thonar, allowing me that flank charge, because by backing out of the woods now, nothing can see them. And there's a token. Right? If this unit manages to kill Thonar, that's great, they can turn around, but then they've still got Riftwalkers chasing them the whole game, and they have to turn around to get the token. They could back up, I'm not sure they could back up far enough to get it, so that's actually, surprisingly, this flank looks doable. Especially given I've got another character in the Riftforger. So we only managed 5 wounds on those Forsaken, but they are now not flying, so there's that. 6 wounds, which is poor. Disappointing, frankly, on the unit with the token. Given they had 5 already. Oh, they healed and regened a bunch. They had 5. Is that 1 wound? Jeez Louise, that's poor. 12 attacks on 3s, and then 3s. 1 wound. Shocking. And the slap fight continues. So this poor wavered beast of nature, my Stormbringer is basically sitting there poking him with a giant spear and he's just refusing to die. So wavered again. And the Giant in the centre kills off that Unicorn, ready to come and join the party. As do the Thunderseers. So all the Unicorns are dead, as is the Exemplar Redeemer. And the centre is now looking very, very strong. And I'm ready to strike out in all directions. So... in response, so he sends this Exemplar Redeemer who was just chilling down here. He sends him into the Shrine because he's not able to get into the way of the Thunderseers. The Shrine has, after all, got the token. These guys countercharge the Reborn. Countercharge there on those Legionaries from the Forsaken. Sharpness Cav into Thonar. Just 2 wounds? Oh, it was both of them. It was Champion of the Green Lady and the Exemplar. That's right, and he rolled like an absolute loser. Poor John. What a terrible turn of rolling. 2 wounds on my Shrine. From both of them. Oh dear. 3 wounds, so,
Returning the favour of poor damage. I have stripped away all their Thunderous. Black Flag. Which ones are these ones? Who knows? I think these are the 16 attack guys. Yeah, so 16 attacks. Yeah, no crushing. So very hard to damage defense 5 with that. So we're feeling good about that. Thonar, however, does die. And we've managed to regen some wounds back down to 7 here. So we're going to try and kill him with a Riftforger, see what happens. They are on a hill, so this is interesting. So they came into Thonar and then backed up. Oh, that's right. You may be confused. Why did the hill disappear? That's because the hill was so poor. So there is a hill here. They're on a hill, right? This is very, very important. Don't forget, Forest Height 5. Forest Height 5. We took the hill out because it was impossible to balance the units on it. And we put it back in then when it was possible. So they backed up, didn't get far enough on the token. He did consider turning him around, and I kind of went, John, don't forget Forest Height 5, because I've got my Riftwalkers here, looking at them, right? These guys are now height 6, height 3 heal plus height 3 unit, he's height 6. I can see you over this forest, so if he turned around, that's a rear charge. So he decided not to turn around, he backed up instead, which is fine. However, things aren't looking good for that unit, are they? Turn 5. So, Thunderseers ignore these 2 buggers hitting on my shrine. And the reason I do this is because I realise the shrine is quite durable, A. B, I can kill this unit and get the token. And I'm very likely to get the token on the other side. So the shrine's token is now immaterial. So I do that, go into the unit to get the token. We do another charge here and here. I don't know what happened with the damage here. On this unit last turn. Doesn't seem to have any damage. Maybe I wavered them. Who knows? And then the Riftforger goes into the Sharpness Cav, and I just fly my Riftwalkers over the back onto the token to grab it. I can't do anything about that right now, and what's likely is that I can just get out of there. Skedaddle. We're on turn 5, don't forget. So we kill the Forsaken. We kill whatever this cavalry is called. The Giant. Oh, yes, the Giant comes to join in the party. That's right. He's turned around, hasn't he? The Giant turned around after killing off the Unicorn. And he went into the Green Lady guy, killed him, leaving just one lad. Exemplar Redeemer left. Beast of Nature's still alive, by the way. Still, it's turn 5. It's still wavered. So it's still wavered. 4 turns in a row. Oh no, hang on. He didn't. The Giant didn't kill me. He just turned around in my turn. That's right. Okay. So I wasn't that worried because I knew the Giant would be able to come in later. The Green Lady champion went into the Reborn Legionaries who have the token this turn. There he is. His Empire Redeemer did better this turn. 5 wounds or 4 wounds onto the shrine, but I'm still okay. He does manage to kill my Riftforger. And I think he probably turns around. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter at this point because my Riftwalker's on turn 6. I've got the token. Oh, he doesn't turn around. That's interesting. That's right. He doesn't turn around because he can't. Isn't this very painful? So he managed to kill my Riftforger. The token is behind him, but he's got 2 units looking right at one of whom can fly. Looking right at him. So he can't turn around to get the token. He'll just get murdered. Oh, very frustrating. So down here, so we do take some wounds from the Champion of the Green Lady, not enough. It's bloody wavered. Beast of Nature just hanging around. And then we murder the Exemplar Redeemer in the middle. And we keep the token. And then we wander the Riftwalkers off. I send my guy over here as a backup. These guys come in here. Just all smashy, face. Next turn, the Green Lady Champion does manage to get the Reborn Legionaries up to 9 wounds. Still okay, thankfully. A bit stupid of me, really. I've put my Thunderseers. I should have turned them more. So at least they were watching. But I think I was too busy killing this Exemplar Redeemer in the middle to protect the center token. He kills my Legionaries on the counter charge. I've just not managed to kill these Sharpness Cavalry at all. And that's the end of the game. So I end up with all 3 tokens, which is very, very, just one of those nice turns of events. But John's army, it needs to kill everything on the first charge, and he didn't quite manage it, which allowed me to strip Thunderous and then to start picking units off with a strong centre. So great game, great guy, really like him, really like his army. Yeah, so 2 strong wins. I think this one was a 20. So now we're on to game 3 at top table. Very scary.
So we are on to game 3, and when I am once again facing the Green Lady, this time controlled by Heath. Heath, I have met before when he came to my tournament, which I believe was one of his first tournaments. So I think he didn't do very well at that tournament, and his gameplay has improved dramatically. And I tried to kind of say how cool that was, but I think I ended up really patronising him, which I didn't mean to. So we're on top table, and this is his Green Lady list once again. It's time to play Guess Which Unit is Which. So a regiment of men-at-arms this time, with the Vial, Sacred Water again. Double Earth Elementals, which I do like an Earth Elemental. So annoying to play against. Double Earth Elementals, very good. And then he's got 2 of the better cavalry, the Order of Redemption, the 20 attack guys. 1 Caterpillar, 1 with Sharpness. So he's taken the better cavalry and made them ridiculous. There's another Death Star unit there. And I will struggle through this entire battle report to remember which one is which, but I'll do my best for you. I think the Sharpness one's got a river on it, by memory. Then he's got the Forsaken, which is the flying ones, with Striding Boots, double Beasts of Nature, with wings and 7 attacks, double Pegasus. And it's noted later on he's got an Exemplar Redeemer or a Winged Unicorn, so good luck guessing which is the Beast of Nature, which is the Pegasus, and which is the Exemplar Redeemer, because I struggle. I do struggle. He's got like a multi-tool Druid with a lot of stuff. I'm going to say probably too many things. Yeah. So you've got Bane Chant Surge, Mindfog Heal. What is that Druid there to do? Is my question. Probably Bane Chant. And then the Champion of the Green Lady, because he's just great, although rather expensive. So this is the battlefield. This is Heath's army pushed across it. So let's have a quick look here. This is the Sharpness Cavalry. We'll see them later. Well, let's talk about the terrain first. This is top table. I would like more terrain, sir. Anyway, just me. Whoa there, Sally. This is our height 6 impassable. We treated it as across here as a blocking, so there's no hole. You can't put a unit in here. Another height 6 impassable here. These are height 2 walls. 2 height 3 hills, one in the middle, one on the edge. Here's a forest, and here's a forest. These are height 5. Don't forget, height 5, not relevant for this game, but I like it. And then 2 tiny little fields, which are entirely irrelevant. I don't think they come into play whatsoever. So, this is I win the choice for sides, and I stick Heath behind this building because I like the idea of that. There's not a lot of Strider in his army, and I want to trap him on it because I believe we're playing Dominate. Yes, we are. Okay, so we're playing Dominate. So what I want to do is to use this wall to trap him with all his hitty stuff over a hindered charge and then smack him off. So in order to do that, because don't forget this hill, the Dominate Circle is probably about right here. I've got all my fast hitty stuff, fast flank here, big anvil here. So hammer, anvil, right? On the left here, so he has got a Beast of Nature, I think, Exemplar Redeemer, Pathfinder Cavalry, I think, right? So against that, I've got all my hits. I've got lots of little mobile units. I've got both flying heroes. One of the flying heroes, the ones over here, to provide some speed 10. But good stuff. Over here, this giant is there, so I think I've got enough to kill them, right? So that means I can then, with impunity, move this stuff up and be just a giant anvil block of melee units with hitty stuff behind them, so that when he kills them, I can then come in and finish him off. That's the plan. He's spread out quite far as well. He's gone really far, which I like, because it means that I can use these guys here to delay the very, very powerful stuff. This is the Sharpness unit, and this is the Forsaken. He's obviously trying to come down and across. So yeah, so he's got his Earth Elementals in the center. That is a unit. That's a Pegasus. Earth Elemental, Men at Arms, Green Lady, Sharpness Cav, and then other Unicorn, other Beasts of Nature, and then he's Forsaken here, right? So this is his hammer, quite a strong one actually, and I'm just going to try and hold it off for as long as possible while I smash his side, and there's my bits. That's my hammer, not as good as his hammer I have to say, but more pieces maybe. And there's my anvil in the middle, right? So all I've got to hold off all that fast stuff is a flying unit and one flying guy. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I win first turn, which is always good against Green Lady because they are so fast and I want to put them under pressure, not me. So what I've done is move forwards. These guys are putting out a nice threat range. We're just out of the cavalry's charge. Yeah, so I think it's pretty good. I think this guy can probably charge them, but I don't really care if he does. Everything else is as planned. Yeah, and then on the left we've got a nice kind of... So I've got my giant and Fonar hiding behind the world's smallest wood here. And I've wind blasted from the giant. I've pushed his cavalry back a bit because they're the slowest anyway, and these guys on their own aren't enough. Notice I've got... So if he does choose the speed 10 to come in here, he's going to get flanked there. That's the plan. That's lightning bolts onto a Pegasus, 4 damage, but it's okay. So here's his response on turn 1. So he's pushed forward. Oh, is that a waver then? Because he's not pushed forward with that at all. I don't think it was wavered. No. So he's pushed forward his defense 6. He doesn't really care if I charge that. And these guys have done what I would do, which is come round with a nice juicy trap in the front there. Hey, why don't you charge my Pegasus? And then I will crush you like a tiny child. And oh, that's why he hadn't finished moving at that point. So he decided to just go for it. Look at that. He's just gone, yeah, do you know what? Sod you. He's put it all the way into my Reborn Legionaries there that I've shoved forward. Is it a trap? Well, probably. Let's find out. And you say, I think he's holding stuff back. It's kind of, I'd have waited another turn before I did that personally. And these guys have come. He has been very cautious on this left flank, as I would be. There's a lot of stuff here. He probably could have got his Beast of Nature here somewhere, which I'd have been tempted to do because that provides some cross cover. And then also from there he could have flown this way. Turn 2. That was the 2 damage he did. I forgot to mention that, but I'll talk about it later. So here's what I did, is I did it again. Whoops, I did it anyway. I put the Riftforged forward with a screen for these guys. The giant is behind it, nice and chargeable, behind this height 5 woods, don't forget. But a Beast of Nature against a giant, I give the giant better chances, personally. And you're thinking, what have I done here with this storm guy? What are they called? Thunder Cracker. I really should remember. What I've done is I've put him behind this buttress. It doesn't fit because the wall he's falling off, but he's basically like that behind the buttress. So he can't be charged because it's a flank from all those guys. Yeah? And the horde is just out of 20, I think. Oh, it's not out of 20, that's right. So I've flanked with the horde into the Pegasus. And the intention is that I will reform like that or something, right? So that's all good. That's all going nicely. I've had to, in order to get them in, I've had to back up the Reborn Legionaries, but I'm kind of gambling on 50 attacks on 5s and hopefully 3s if I get a Bane Chant off, be enough to kill this Pegasus because it's already got 4 wounds. It's not that much of a gamble. On this side, I've ignored the trap. I've pushed that forward. I've got my guy here, and I've got my Thunderseers here with a point of view down here because I am cognizant he wants to put his Beast of Nature here. Probably not far enough range, but at least it gives me the option. So yeah, we do kill the Pegasus. That's good. And that's the same. Oh, is that more Wind Blast? What an arse I am. Yeah, it looks like I wind blasted the Beast of Nature back a bit, so that has put it out of the 20 into there. Nice! Wow, it's going very well. Oh, so here we go. So there's the predicted Beast of Nature down the flank. Okay, which is, a thing. And then he's just gone in. So Sharpness Cavalry into these guys. Earth Elementals into these guys, Forsaken backing them up. So I've not got enough to hold this off on the right-hand flank. And you can see here the tail of a Pegasus. Let me have a photo of it. There'll be one later. Don't worry. We'll show you that momentarily. So he has simply jumped over the back. He's like, do you know what, sod you? I'm off. So Pathfinder Cavalry into these guys. He's jumped his Exemplar Redeemer and Beast of Nature over the back. These guys are individuals, so I can sit them down. But I am in their flank and rear, so I can't stop them charging forward. So that's a pretty nice move. And then double Earth Elementals into this Horde, which is nasty. And these guys have moved up. Just, I'm not really sure what to do. Maybe to stop, to stop this guy coming over the back, right? So that's good. However, Sharpness Cavalry, bear in mind, I mean, did they come out of cover? Did they come out of cover? They might have done, yes. No, yes. So they would have clipped this, right? So that still, it's 16 attacks on 3s and 4s. You would expect more than 4 damage. That's disappointing for him. So 4 damage and they're okay. Yeah, Riftwalkers. Even worse. And this is a theme. This is a theme. I would say in this game, Heath's dice were the worst dice I've ever seen. To the point where by turn 4, I was like, please use my dice. I am going to give you a set of my dice. And he refused because he said these are new dice. I'm warming them up. I'm like, dude, they don't need warming up. They need burning. Anyway, so 8 wounds from the Sharpness from the Pathfinder Cavalry into these guys. Double 1. Nice. Turn 3. So turn 3, we double charge that cavalry with the giant. Cloak of Death everywhere. Thank you very much. And then I've put both Thonar and the Riftforger into the Beast of Nature. And then I turned this unit of legionaries and put it on the hill. Because what that does, you will notice that the Redeemer is not on the hill. The Beast of Nature is on the hill, right? But this makes me height 5. So this guy can't see because he's height 4. He can't see anything. And this guy can't get to anything because he's no longer nimble. Because he's not flying because I'm going to hit him. So they're going to have to charge this regiment. I thought that was great. Really proud of that. Really proud of that move. Yeah, there's a wider shot. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, we're off. There he goes. So we double charged this Horde of Earth Elementals. Oh, we didn't show the damage. So the Earth Elementals did 12 damage, which is good for Earth Elementals. Hitting on 4s. Crush 1 or Crush 2, the Bane Chant. Unfortunately, only 12 damage, which is not good, is it, really, thinking about it? 36 attacks on 4s, 18, and then on 3, and then on 2s. So from 18 rough damage down to 12 is pretty poor. Pretty poor. So I think he'd expected to kill that Horde. Hadn't done it, which meant I got a double flank. Again, off a wall with these guys. He's not off a wall. Well, he's off wall, but he's flying. There you go. There was a unicorn attack on my Thunder Seers, did no damage. So I'm counter-charging there, counter-charging here. And I've sent my my guy on a Manticore over here to hold off them for a turn. Probably just 1 turn, I expected. There's another triple Bane Chant. I'm really regretting down talking the Shrine now because I got another triple Bane Chant off. It's brilliant. Ignore me. I hope people listened more than the introduction. We killed the Horde of Earth Elementals and we just stood there because we have no danger. You can't see the guys back there that way. Can't see me. So nasty. We do. I can't see how many damage. Some damage. Little wound counters. I think it's like some damage here. Anyway, that's Thonar's Host Shadow Beast roll. That looks like a poor roll. Yeah, I'm tiny wound counters. Can't read them. We did some damage, not enough to kill him. Oh, there you go. I did reform. Hurrah! I turned these guys around. Why did I do that? So I can come into you next turn. Oh, that's right, because they could see me where I was with that line, right? Because I was probably like the. Oh, that's terrible. Like that. Right, so I could be seen. So I turned like yay so that line of sight couldn't see, and this guy went forward to allow that to happen. There you go. So Heath's return charges these guys, finish them off. Seems sensible. Beast of Nature is going to have to charge. The Exemplar, who couldn't see anything, has bided his time by flying over the top for next turn. The other Beast of Nature, because don't forget my Thunder Seers were held off. I killed the Unicorn that was here. That's good. But I was held off. So the Beast of Nature had a choice of front into them or flank here. So obviously flank here. He's going to get smashed next turn, but you know, it kills the Horde, kills the unit's strength. In he goes. Sharpness Cavalry attempt to finish these guys off. Come on, sort your lives out. Earth Elementals here. There we go. What else happened? Oh, these guys just turned around. That's it, good. So, shocking, appalling dice. The worst dice I've ever seen. So 6 damage onto this guy, and he's fine. Sharpness Cavalry do manage to kill these guys, these Riftwalkers on the second go. And the Horde dies to a Beast of Nature. Oh, and also the Green Lady Champion went in as well, so everyone went in. So, you know, some small comfort there, but the Earth Elementals are in a poor place. Put it that way, they've got a flank here. You know, whichever way they turn, they're going to get flanked. So, but at least the Sharpness Cavalry are coming next turn, so that's all good. That's all good. And he killed my little Riftforger, which is me, the Beast of Nature. And then overran into Thonar for 3 wounds, and he's okay. And then he killed the other Riftwalkers too, so he's fighting back a little bit. His dice were terrible, but at least he got some kills on that turn. Okay, so this is how we look at the end of turn 3. So we are playing Dominate, don't forget. I'm not wildly unhappy. I think I just need to hold the line, if you see what I mean. I'm in a relatively dangerous position, and I would say if Heath's dice hadn't been so appalling, he would be in a much better position, because realistically, this unit shouldn't be engaging now. It should have killed that one, or you would expect it to kill that one on the first turn. Who else really would you have expected to die? You would have expected him to be dead, in which case the Forsaken would be free as well. As it is, he's in a relatively good place. I've had to spin around because you've got so many fast flying elements. No matter how well I play, I can't stop some of them sneaking around because I'm slow, I'm cumbersome, right? Typically against really fast flying armies, you want to play like a deny flank if you can. So, you know, just hold 1/4 of the board and push forwards like this so you can make a ring. I'm not able to do that because it's Dominate. So I am able to use these buildings, but realistically he's got a Beast of Nature around here, he's got Exemplar Redeemer here, and he's got all his other stuff coming here. So, yeah, it's going to be tight as we crumble into turn 4. So I decide to just go all in because realistically what I have to do is smash and grab, if you see what I mean. So from this point, we go into the Beast of Nature here, don't have a choice. And then what do we do? Oh, let's have a look. Okay, yeah, so I do manage the double charge. So I think I shuffle this or turn. I think I go forwards and turn, right? So forward 5 and turn 90, which allows enough frontage for both the Reborn and this unit to come in here onto these Earth Elementals, right? I've got my Shrine. I couldn't do anything about the Shrine. The Shrine is going to get flanked, right? So I've turned it because I need to get some Bane Chants off, which you can see once again. Triple Bane Chant, absolutely gross. So I am going to get flanked by this guy if he wants to take it. I've optimistically put my Stormcaller here to try and lightning bolt it off. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So yeah, but you know, I'd rather he flanks this than charges something else. And you'll notice the line of sight. If I kill the Beast of Nature, I'll be able to turn, so he won't be able to see past my unit. Likewise, I should be able to turn. His line of sight is like this, so he won't be able to see these guys. So from his front, he won't be able to charge that unit at all, and won't be able to charge that unit only. So I'm only offering him my Shrine. All right, so it's positioning there to make sure that he can't see. Best I could do in the circumstances. And then I've used my Flying Hero. So this guy, who shouldn't be alive, is still fighting against these Forsaken. The other one that was on this hill here has come into the Sharpness Cavalry, so I've just sacrificed him to hold them off for a turn. The Champion of the Green Lady is free to do whatever the hell he likes. I can't do anything about that. And really, These men-at-arms retainers aren't going to be able to hurt my horde, so that's unit strength near the centre for the end of the game, hopefully. Over here, so the legionaries that are on the hill have gone into the Beast of Nature. And then Thonar, the giant decided that Thonar needs to help him kill this other unit of cavalry. And this is really delaying. None of this matters. I just need to stop them coming this way, right? Because that would be end of game, especially the Beast of Nature. So, and we do very well. In fact, we kill them all. We kill them all. They all die. Ah, it's mean, isn't it? So death, brilliant. Oh, what does that say? Roll for what on a once of a D3 mortal wounds. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That waver? It's a waver. That's what it is. Waver. So I waver the Beast of Nature with my Thunder Seers. That would be good, but I needed it to die because I'm not convinced that the line of sight here is covered. In fact, I bet my bottom dollar it's not. So I think that's a rear charge. Boo! Never mind. Can't be helped. Waver there. I do manage to kill the unit in the centre, so I turn my legionnaires here, so that if the exemplar regiment does come in and kill them, then I can kill them next turn, right? So that's a saving grace. Everything else is facing this way. He didn't. Oh, we haven't done it yet. Okay, it's his turn. And then we don't kill either cavalry units over here. So he obviously countercharges both of those because there's not enough room for this unit if it withdraws. In fact, it can't withdraw because it will get within an inch. So there's no chance to come down here. It's going to have to countercharge both of these, which is exactly what I wanted. He decides to take his regiment into the reborn legionaries rather than the horde. And he also sends in the champion of the Green Lady because together they have more of a chance to kill that unit than any other. And then he does take the rear charge. Okay. So, shocking, appalling. These Forsaken need sending back to Pegasus School. He's up to 6 damage. I guess I've stripped their Thunderous. So he's only crushed 1. Maybe that's it. And he's defense 5. He's only 13-15. So wavered. Oh, terrible news. The other one, however, dies completely to sharpness cavalry. And the oh, it's not. Did he have headstrong or something? Not sure. Maybe that shouldn't have turned actually because it was wavered. Never mind. An exemplar. Obviously, they wipe out my legionaries there. So I've got a Beast of Nature in my flank, or exemplar redeemer. One of them needs to go. I've got sharpness cavalry as well. It's looking a bit tense in turn 5. Oh, so there were 7 wounds there, and they're okay. Well, that's good news. That's good news, isn't it? So, here's how we look on turn 5. Brown trousers time, boys and girls, and other genders. We have double flyers looking down. Look at how aligned my units are. Don't flank me, because there's no way you can. However, sharpness cavalry. Oh. And I've run out of units to block. I've run out of little fly units. These guys need to... Thonar can start running over, but the other ones are too far. So, here's what we do. To reposition myself, I decide to utterly obliterate the men-at-arms. And then I go into the Exemplar Redeemer here. The thought process here is... the Sharpness Cavalry can only kill 1 unit. The Beast of Nature can only kill 1 unit. So they're probably going to die because they're wounded. They'll die because they're just going to get smashed by something. But I've got another regiment and this whole horde. And Thonar's come up. And a giant for turn 6. So that's my thought process. And I've got ranged. So I've got some lightning bolts. Why the healing? Did you heal? Oh, that lightning bolted. Right, that's lightning bolted. Well, it's weird badges. I guess they're just kind of wavered tokens. But lightning bolt and lightning bolt onto the Beast of Nature, and I waver him again. So Beast of Nature is now out of the picture. Brilliant. Good job, guys. Very happy about that. We kill the regiment and we reposition like yay. So there can obviously be a flank here. This guy also wavered at just the turn of the century. Really? So we kill this unit, we waver this unit, we waver this unit. So what he's got now is 1 unit of sharpness cavalry. I guess these guys do fly. Okay, so he's got 2. He's got flying guys and these guys, but he's got 3 units to kill. And I've got another bunch of units coming in. So while it is tense, So here's what he does. He sends the sharpest cavalry into the horde, and he sends the Forsaken into the Reborn Legionaries because he's claiming the centre with them, right? Because they're his scoring units. These guys are just going to try and not die. What's happened there? Why are they turned like that? Is that the end of the game? Did you not kill me? You didn't kill me. Oh, yeah. Right. So, sorry. It was, very tight clocks and all that kind of stuff. So, here's what happened. Ruined my storytelling there, didn't I? So, I'm terrible at this. These guys came in here, right? But he sent the Forsaken in first. The Forsaken are here. Yeah? And the cavalry are here. The cavalry do 11 wounds and don't waver them. Right? Do these guys die? Yes. And then the Reborn Legionaries die. But he can't reform. Because he's stuck where he is, I think. Yes. Too tight. Could sidestep a bit, but it's no use. He can't get out. So what I did was then, looking at what I had on the board, I flanked with the horde. And did these guys come in here? No. Thonar came in. So we came in with the Giant for some Cloak of Death. I think we killed the Exemplar Redeemer with this regiment. And then Thonar and the Horde killed the Forsaken. And by doing that, my victory was assured because if you count up the unit strength, I think, I'm not sure, but maybe he's timed out, I'm not sure. Yeah, because he then turns 6, he will kill the Horde, and I've got 3 unit strength, and this guy can kill one thing, but I've got 5 unit strength, and all he's got is a Beast of Nature and Cavalry to 4. And I might have killed them, but I don't remember now. And I haven't taken a picture of it, so it didn't happen as far as we're concerned. Am I right? Anyway, I won. Hurrah! Sorry, Heath, your dice were terrible. Not your fault. And let's go on to game 4. Well, let's have a think about that. I was table 1. I was actually top of the tables at this point. So that means I'm table 1 again. And the next game is for the tournament. I've never been in this situation before. Right, so game 4 was a mirror match of sorts against Andy, who is another Moonraker. Andy and I have played twice before, once on UB, where he had his all Brock army and crushed me, and once in Bristol when I was playing just normal orcs. And I can't remember what he was playing, but I won that one, so we're 1-1. And he has taken a very different flavour of Riftforged Orcs, so let's have a look at them. One of the things I like about Andy is that he will take every broken thing in the army and then let's take 5 of them. Just like, why bother doing anything else? But he's very much played into the synergies of the Iron Boots formation. So don't forget the Iron Boots formation gives Wild Charge D3 to Orcs, right? So that's my Unforged Orcs. He's looked at that and thought, no, they're no good. And you know what are good? Fight Wagons and Gore Riders. I'm taking all of them. He's got 2 troops and 2 regiments of Gore Riders. One with Caterpillar, one with Strength. He's taken 2 regiments of Hell Strikers, which is probably... this makes sense, doesn't it, really? Because it's lots of small, hitty units, isn't it? A legion of Fight Wagons. Let me say that again. A legion of Fight Wagons. And he's given them Brew of Haste, right? So let's think about this. Wild Charge D3, Brew of Haste, so their speed 8. So their maximum charge is 19 inches, which is a lot, isn't it? Gore Riders also maximum charge 19 inches if they're within the aura. He's put the Sacred Horn onto the Reborn Legionaries, so the aura is now 9 inches. Stormfall Shrine, because it's good. He's got a Stormbringer, so a regular, like my Stormbringers on Manticore, but a regular Stormbringer, so 5 attacks. And he's given them the Wings of Honey Maze to fly around and punch stuff. 2 Stormbringers on Hellstrike Manticores like me. He's given 1 Mead of Madness and 1 Blade of Slashing. So this guy charges 21. And then just the normal formation. So this army is very, very fast. 20-inch charge. Potential 19 with 30 attacks on 3s. 20-inch charge, 21-inch charge, fast as you like. And he has been obviously crushing face with it during this tournament. And now it's my turn to face off. And here we go. So you'll recognise the terrain because it's the same table as last time. No mixing of tables here. You stay where you are if you're doing well, which seems odd. But he won sides and chose the other one. So I am now on the, let's say, slightly less good side. The scenario this time, kill the general. So this scenario is kill. You remember kill? The worst scenario? But, so kill, regular kill, and there is a small bonus that your highest nerve hero is your general. And if they kill your general, they get 3 points extra and vice versa. So it doesn't affect the win-loss draw, it's just an extra 3 points you can get. So the maximum tournament points for this one is 23. Alright. And here's how we look. So it's kill. We're playing kill. And he's very fast. Remember what I said about what you do against very fast opponents? Right? You castle. Right? You layer up and you castle because it's all you can do. So that's what I've tried to do here because he is so much faster than me. There is no way I will ever match his speed. Even my Stormbringers are outsped by his Stormbringers. Right? Because they're 21-inch charge. So... you can see the corner of this is his display board. Andy is a proponent of the display board. You would have seen them if you hang around on Kings of War Fanatics. This one, a rather mild display board for him. He does like to go in. And nice yellow theme to the army. These ones are the Reborn Legionaries, right in the middle with the yellow thing, right? Legion of Fight Wagons. These are the Legionnaires, and this is the Shrine. It's actually a converted Iron Beast from Halflings, which is kind of cool. I like that idea. Wish I'd thought of it. On this side, so these are the troops of Gore Riders. That's a regiment. Now, which one's got the banner? I think this one's got the banner for Pathfinder. So this one must be Brute Strength. That's the guy with the slashing. I think this is the faster guy. And here's his Hellstrikers. Okay. That is his flying dude. Yep. So he's got, I mean, this is so fast. Everything's fast. I've got a Stormbringer here, and I've got my Riftwalkers in front of the Thunderseers. There's one of my hordes, backed up by that guy. Here is the Giant. Now, I have slightly messed up in that I haven't really got any inspiring over here. I've got this guy, but he's going to fly off. I think I put Thonar and... the Riftforger here because I was thinking they're going to go this way or possibly that way, right? So they can cover inspiring, but really there's no inspiring here because I messed up in my deployment. The very first thing I put down, I messed up. I put this horde down first. I meant to put these guys down first, and I meant to put them here, right? These are supposed to be the other way around, but I messed up. I put it down and went, shit, I've done that wrong. But I put it down by that point, can't change it. Is what it is, my bad. So these are the other guys. So the plan with these guys is to fly over and to sit on this wall. And these are the Reborn guys that should be here. With a Stormbringer here. This is my Shrine. Okay, so the idea here is to form a line with backup, wait for him to come in, and then counter-strike. Yeah, and that's really all I can do. My main concern is getting rid of the Legion as soon as possible. Everything else is manageable. But he has got a lot of pieces. We just have to kill 10% more than he kills. That's going to be a challenge against his army. It is fast and it is very much more hitty than mine. There he is! Thumbs up! He's also a Moonraker, by the way, like John. There you go. That's his army. Very nice. There's the rest of it. Yeah, lovely. I think this is really cool. Alrighty. I've just been through this. I should have done it with these screenshots. If you like, you can extract the audio and... I'm going to start up. Okay, so on. So I win turn 1. Or does he give me turn 1? No, I win turn 1. That's lucky, isn't it? And I think, yeah, I'm just going to push forward and I'm going to have a real... Come on then. Come on, have a go if you think you're hard enough. So his Hellstrikers, you see, he's turned because he wants to bring them this way. And you see my range ruler here, which means, cool, I've got a Stormbringer here. You can't see him, right? This guy can't charge him because they're outside of 20, I think. These guys can't see him, right? Line of sight's like that. So they're presenting here as a nice challenge. And then I looked at my giant. He's actually facing this way, but he didn't fit because his lightning bolts hit the roof. I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have fun. I'm just going to say I don't care now. So I put him here. He's 1820. If these guys come into him, he can be too far away for a Bane chant, right? So they're going to have 30 attacks on, is it 3s or 4s of fight wagons? Boo, never used a fight wagon before because I only crushed one. I don't like crush one. Whoa, there we go. That's mine. Fight wagons, they aren't 3s. Okay, so I'm essentially using my giant as bait. 30 attacks on 3s. It means he's going to get 20 hits. And then on 4s, means he's going to get 10 damage. Ish. Let's say ish. The plus or minus standard deviation. 10 damage, he's an 18-20. Right, he's not going to kill him. Alright. So I am within 19 inches. I am outside, I think, of 9. Oh, they can't. Are they going to? Right, yes, but of course, if he charges with that, he can't charge with that because the base is so wide. He has to charge, and I don't think he'll be able to resist coming in with the Legion. I hope. If he charges in with them, that's fine. In fact, that's what I'd have done. Not so spoiler warning, he does charge in with fight wagons. I'd have charged them in, and the fight wagons back up. But then I'd have charged that way. All right, it's irrelevant. Whatever. I thought I'd have some fun. Everyone else charges forward. I do send Thonar this way, which leaves all these guys uninspired. Bad choice. There you go. Reborn Legionaries I push right up because the charge range on these guys isn't as bad, and these guys are outside of 19. And I've got here my Stormbringer facing off against those Hellstrikers. Okay, so you notice my shrine has started to fall apart. And there's some lightning bolt on his shrine. That's 3 damage. It's okay. We do. This is relevant, by the way. This is why I'm telling you this. The clock we put on this side of the table before we started deploying. And then it became a problem because so much was happening here. We couldn't turn it around because the clock's going at that point. The clock ends up over here on Andy's side. It's a note for later. Foreshadowing. So he pushes forward. He doesn't take my bait, first of all. So I'm wrong about that. He comes up with everything and forms, as you should, a nice fast flank to punish me. Slightly less fast here. Do I wind blast something? I think I wind blast. Yeah, I wind blast these guys back. That's why he didn't charge, because I wind blasted him. Anyway, that's the lightning bolt onto my Riftwalkers. They're okay. That's how we look at the end of turn 1. So nothing much exciting happened there. So we're on to turn 2. We didn't take a picture of the dice. There you go. Such is life. I further push forward. What do I do? So my Stormbringer on Hellstrike Manticore comes into these Hellstrikers. And really, I ummed and ahed about doing this. But he provided me with a nice... He can come in, this guy with his Stormbringer there. But these guys can't see. Even better, these guys can't see. Right, so I looked at that and thought, okay, he might live a couple of rounds. These guys are too close behind them to do anything. They're stuck. He's very close behind these Hellstrikers. So I thought, actually, it holds off this punchy unit for maybe 1 to 2 turns. That might be worth it. And then I put these Riftwalkers here because there's lines of sight like that, so they can't be seen. All right, so that's kind of a challenge for him to charge in. So now there's 2 things for him to charge. Here and here. That's what I'm remembering. These guys come forward and they're in front of a wall. So there are now 3 things for him to charge. None of them are that delicious as a target. I'm really offering him, go on, charge what you like. But I've been quite cautious with this horde because I didn't want him to be able to charge around and hold off the horde with these Gore Riders. Looking at it again, I would have probably come a bit further forward. I probably brought the giant a bit further forward. Still preventing the double charge. And then brought the horde up a bit. And allowed the charge maybe here. I think I was worried about a Gore Rider or these 3 triple charging onto my Thunder Seers. That's probably why. It's very difficult because you have to think about how many charges have you got. How many charges have you got? And what can you wipe out with a single turn? And a 1-15-17 unit, even defense 5 against those 3, it's not looking great, I would say. So That's probably what I was thinking there. And I've got some units in reserve to punch later. Here, I've been a bit more aggressive because I can. He's got his Hell Strikers here, but I think they can probably charge Thonar there, but they probably won't. Or maybe they can or can't. I don't know, whatever. Maybe he's outside of 20. It's not a great shout over here, though. These guys can't see over the hill. It's a bit more varied. So he's wanting to hammer and anvil this. So hammer, anvil, right? He's hammer stronger than anvil. So that is the charge. Do I do any damage? Is that no damage? Or is that 1 damage from this? Oh, that's a turn counter. Huh. I don't know. There's some lightning bolt onto this unit. 1 damage. Not much point. Oh, there you go. I did do 1 damage. It's alright. 1 damage, so you can't fly. Suck it. And then the counter charge did 5 damage and wavered me. That's alright in the end. Oh, that's right, because he put his Stormbringer in the flank as well as the Hellstrikers to try and really wipe me out. 5 damage, but I'm still okay, which is very nice. Ah, yes. And then, so he's charged in. Poor photo taking. It's a very tense match, that's why. He sent in the Gore Riders into this unit and the Legion into the Giant, as I had hoped he would. So, here we go. And that killed the Riftwalkers. And 11 now, so 1 higher than average, pure average, but he doesn't do enough damage to kill or waver because you would have needed a strong 9, right? So that's great. He has, this is a nice sensible move because he's reformed to shield this flank, right? So you can't just come, I'm going to flank you here. But for turn 3, something cool happened. And it's genuinely one of the best moves I've ever done in Kings of War. So he brought his Gore Riders and this Hellstriker hero forward here. Should worth saying he's come forward with these guys just kind of in a nice curve, which is pretty cool. This guy kind of peeping out the back. It's a very nice curve while he waits for all this to die, right? And he's got these guys in the rear. So let's look at how it looks. Can't get to a place where I show you. So these guys, the Legion is here, yeah, and the Gore Riders are here. Yeah, and these guys have come forward to here. And I measured, and this gap was wide enough to allow my Thunderseers through. So I'm in the flank of the Legion here. I can see them because they're massive. And I go up. And I turn. And I come into the flank here. Move of the century, as far as I'm concerned. I was so pleased with it. Right? I thought it was really cool. So that allowed my Thunderseers, and I have Pathfinder over Woods as well, to come into the flank of the Legion along with the Giant in the front. I couldn't get these guys in. You can see here. So that's where they were. Up, turn, and in. Nice big gap. Easy to miss, I would say. And then the Horde comes into the Gore Riders. We just stay here. These guys can fly, but whatever. I'm on the hill, they're not on the hill, they can't see over me. Nice. This is 13 inches, so I'm outside of 13. I've done the usual thing. Less than usual up here, because I've still got this guy. Why is he there? I have no idea. I really should have put him maybe because that's Gore Riders, isn't it? 16 inches, so he's outside of 16. So I've offered these guys as a charge, these guys as a charge. Neither of those are very good options. I really wish they were the other way around. So we smashed the living bejesus out of the fight wagons, take them out of the game. Brilliant. However, my Horde hindered hitting on 5s. 5s followed by 4s does 4 wounds and they're okay. So that's okay. This is how the game looks at the end of that round. So we've been very cagey here, nothing exciting happening. Very, very punchy over here. So the Horde is going to get flanked, which is poor because I didn't manage to kill these guys. However, the Legion is dead. And these Thunderseers can't be seen. Can't be seen because line of sight, right? Yes, good. So I'm facing off here. Have to face there because of this guy looking down here. So. Oh. Well, maybe he could see me then. Oh, he is on the hill, that's why. still don't see how he could see me. Oh, because I was wavered. Did I withdraw? I didn't withdraw. So, yeah, so they were still in combat, so he did a withdraw move, that's why, and he's flying, right? So he did a withdraw, which allows him to see me. I didn't spot it. There you go, that's what it is. I thought it was a nice plan, but they were on the hill. If you look, that's quite a lot of them on the hill, right? Who? Anyway. Yeah, Hellstriker's into the flank of my Thunderseers, and his Stormbringer in the front. Bad times. These guys counter-charge. At least I killed the Legion. And I decide to... Oh no, he goes all in. Right, he goes all in. So he goes both regiments into these Riftwalkers, thinking, well, you can't kill everything, and these guys have come up. Plus, I've got backup here, right? So he's layered very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. And of course, they die, and he reforms. So these guys sidestep 1 inch. These guys turn this way. Okay, so he's really gone in now. However, look at that. 6 wounds. Thunderseers are all right. Yeah. Isn't that great? Very, very happy. Even better, this guy, so he carries on with his Stormbringer hero trying to finish him off. Only just 1 wound. And they're feeling grand. You know what that means? I think. Rear attack for turn 4. So, let's see. This is how we look. Still got a lot left on the battlefield. I have killed quite a bit of his stuff. Well, I've killed his Legion. That's actually all I've killed. Because these other guys have come down, so it's not looking brilliant on this side. I have got these guys, but this is outside of charge range. He's got a troop there, a troop here, holding up this bloody great big horde. My giant can't do anything. Thunderseers are in the thick of it. I've got Stormbringer hero in the rear. And then on this side, we have really yet to engage. So, why do I not take the rear on these guys? I think I needed to hold off this unit. Maybe I couldn't see them. I'm facing the wrong way. Yeah, because I can't see him. Look, that's my line of sight. Oh man, he's moved them, that's right. He moved them just out of the line of sight. It's good learning about this game together, isn't it? So instead, I go into the lead, into this regiment. I decide to use him as chaff. He's nearly dead anyway, right? Because these guys need to die, so my Thunderseers take them on, and then this guy is less of a threat. He's not... no threat, but he's less of a threat. We really need these guys to die, so the giant joins in to really finish them off. And Cloak of Death for everyone. I prevent a charge here by blocking up my unit, and hopefully these guys die, and the giant can step back to allow this unit to turn. Right, which will place me in a much more advantageous position on this flank because this horde is undamaged. I send Fonar and the Riftforger into the Reborn Legionaries, hoping to knock them off. That's hopeful. They're 16-18. And then we engage. We double charge this regiment with Horde and Reborn Legionaries. So they should die. And then the Reborn Legionaries can shield the Horde against the charges that will come in here. And I've got my other unit ready to come in here. All right. So I send my Stormbringer into this unit to hold it off. I think, yeah, no, that's probably the better choice. They are hittier than these Hellstrikers. That was not a well-timed double one, was it? You know. So yeah, they're on 12 damage, double one. Oh dear. Not a lot you can say about that, is there? Right. So. And here, my lovely friends, I have a really big apology for you. My phone didn't charge properly the night before. So charging in the car on the way there, I got to 72% battery, something like 60% battery, and it ran out. It ran out at this point. I went to take a photograph and there was nothing, and Andy went, dude, my phone's out of batteries. And he's like, my phone's in my bag. I am so sorry, because this is very exciting. It's my first chance, really, to win a tournament. Let's go to an overhead shot and I'll tell you what happens. Okay, so... Rubbish. So, the giant is here and I've double wonned it. The Thunderseers kill this regiment. Right? We kill this regiment. We do a couple of wounds here, but nothing fine. Nothing over much. Thonar and the Riftforger do not kill the Reborn Legionaries. And then the countercharge kills off the Riftforger. So there's my host Shadow Beast. The charge, so the Hellstrikers come into the Reborn Legionaries and kill them. Right? And eventually, I think on turn 5, the Hellstriker dies to these guys. This is his general. By the way, this is his general, and Thonar is my general. At this point, Thonar decides to book it around here into the general, I think. Or this regiment comes in. I can't remember specifically. I'm so sorry. My memory is poor as it is, we know. The Horde dies, right? These guys come in. There is a melee, right? It gets very, very close. These guys eventually die to them. The Giant dies, I think, to the Flying Hero. The Stormbringer here dies to this regiment. I don't manage to kill this regiment in the end. Alright? So, I managed to kill his general. Big tick for me. He does not kill Thonar. But on the last turn, it came down to turn 6. Something else happened at this point. Right? Something wonky with the clock happened. Right, at this point you can see 19 minutes. We came down to turn 4, and I think I didn't tap the clock at the end of this turn. And we carried on playing on my clock. Because it came to my next turn, I had 6 minutes left on the clock and Andy still had 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, what's happened to the clock? And Andy was like, oh no, it looks like you've taken too much time. I'm like, there is no way. Okay, here I've taken 10 more minutes, but at the end of this turn, it's his go. And he's tapping down. Now, maybe I did take longer than him. I don't know. But what a gentleman Andy was at that point, because I was quite stressing. I was happy to play it on 6 minutes. I would have moaned a lot. But what a gentleman. He said, you can play a turn on my clock. What a nice man, right? Top table, final game of the tournament. Now, the clock has been over there, and I'm not good at clock management at the best of time. He let me play a whole turn on his clock, which definitely earned him one of my sportsmanship votes. Put it that way. So what a dude, and a big thank you to him for that. It made it slightly less stressful at the end of the game. We had plenty of time left in the round timer, at least. Yes, so I forgot to mention that, but there you go. So it ended up. You have to tally the points up because kill being a stupid scenario. So turn 6. My Horde was still alive, but I think it was on 11 or 12 wounds. And he managed to get in, I think, with this regiment and possibly the Hellstrikers, I think. Long story short, this Horde was dead. This regiment was alive. They were dead. Dead. Alive. 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 Dead. Right? Dead. Dead. Alive. Right, so I had a fair amount left alive. On Andy's side, alive. Dead, I want to say. I think his hero was alive. Dead, dead. I'm going to say maybe dead, alive, alive, dead. Important 3 points. Dead and dead. So it came down to it. We finished the last turn. And we had to count up the points to see who had killed the most. And Andy had killed the most. Long story short. I tried to drag that and give some tension to the fact we don't even have a screenshot at the end of the game. He killed, I think, 500 points more than me. More than enough for him to get the win. Which is sad for me, but great for him. Unfortunately, Table 2, because he didn't kill my general, Table 2 was quite close to us in scores. Another Green Lady general, a guy called David, did kill, got a 23 in the last game, and leapfrogged him to number 1. So Andy finished second. They finished first, and I think it's David. David? Fletcher? I finished 4th, which isn't bad at all. I was very pleased. Not a bad showing, really. A fantastically close, tense game. Some excellent sportsmanship in clocks. But gosh, what a tense game. And I think reflecting, Riftforged Orcs did exceptionally well at this tournament. Myself, there was another guy called Richard, who is our main Riftforged Orc player in the tournament scene. And they're all playing Riftforged Orcs. And high points values really suit them very much. So 2,500 points, you can fit so many things in that they become quite hitty. Two really different styles of armies in here as well that both did very well at the tournament. So yeah, high points value is good. I've got another tournament coming up soon. In fact, it's next weekend. 2,300, so back to 2,300. A slight variation on this list. I've had to drop the giant, which is very sad because he's pretty, and keep most of the other things in. So let's see how that one goes. That's back at Rift Wars. Remember the last Rift Wars where I came 8th out of 10? Anyway, there's more players at this one, so we're going to see how we go. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Sorry for missing off the end of the game. I feel terrible. Thank you so much to all my opponents. I had 4 brilliant opponents, 4 brilliant games. Loved every single one of them. And we'll see you next time on Death by Dragons. Bye-bye!